He steps to the mic.
Steph, I think with about 4 minutes left in the second quarter, you kind of split Jokic and Monty hit a layup, and you were running back and you were yelling, "I'm back." What in that moment made you kind of feel that was the moment to proclaim you were back, and just what were you feeling in that moment?
You're just starting to find a rhythm. Like, first game, missing that much time, coming off the bench, trying to get used to the speed of the game again, and somewhat impactful first game, but didn't really feel like normal, like you had the real flow. And then next, the first half, I had a little pep in my step and body felt good. Was able to kind of get to some spots, and you make certain shots, it feels a little different. Feels a little bit more normal, and more emotion kind of comes out, especially like that with that layoff. So it was a nice feeling.
Can you take us through that exchange between you, Gary, and Jokic in the second quarter?
Nah.
Steph, you look to be, I guess, determined to get to the rim, especially when you had, the lineup out there. How much of that was you saying, "I want to get inside because we can," and how much of that was just the floor so spread, the lanes just look wide like that?
It's just trying to be decisive with what we're getting. There were one possession at the end of the second quarter where I forced up a little tough side step to the right shot, and I was thinking about that for a long time, just because, like you said, the floor was spaced. There are a lot of driving angles. Even if you're not the one going to be finishing, that's when the reactions from the defense starts, and we have so many shooters and playmakers out there. You kind of have to make them pay, and that's where all the flow starts to happen. That's where all the good open shots, and we love to play that way, and it's demoralizing for a defense. So just trying to be very decisive on, don't force anything, because if you get attack to the lane or a swing, you get them to react, somebody's going to be open, and you just knock them down.
What are your thoughts on watching Jordan specifically, get to the basket? And you know how difficult it is, but he seems to have a way about him where he can wiggle and get to the cup. How impressed was you with your protege's ability to do that?
That's always been a part of his game. It's just about picking and choosing the spots, and understanding how teams are going to guard him and pick and roll. Again, taking advantage of the space that's out there. But teams have to respect his jumper and how lethal he is, kind of pulling up, that he can get guys to press up on him and he can blow by him. And he's obviously got a quick first step, and he's pretty crafty with his finishes, right hand, left hand, all different type of angles. So it's tough to guard, especially if you have shooter space, on either side of him. And the beauty is that he's been able to balance all of it: the shooting, the driving, and then setting up guys with some crazy passes and getting everybody involved. That's another evolution of his game. It's not just the scoring; it's picking and choosing spots and making defenses pay if he gets a little extra attention.
Steph, Draymond said when he feels he's getting under somebody's skin, he just presses even more. And do you sense that he's getting to Jokic? And also, did you have a feeling you guys could make so many deflections and get the steals that you got tonight?
He loves a challenge. Draymond loves a challenge, and we understand that it's not like you're going to just shut Jokic out. You're not going to keep him in single-digit scoring. He's an MVP of the league last year, and see what happens this year. It's a thing where you just make him work for the entire course of the game and try to, like you say, frustrate him as much as possible. Try to make things difficult. Even if he scores, you want everything to be difficult, and that's what Draymond loves about this matchup. Is he still had 26 and 11 and 4, but it's how you get that. And that's where we can then turn that into good momentum for our side. Draymond stays engaged. He makes them pay on the other end of the floor. And we all have to do our job, behind him. But in that one-on-one matchup, nothing's going to be easy. If you're going to score, you got to earn it, and that's Draymond's MO.
Steph, there were a lot of memorable sequences with that three-guard lineup tonight, but was there maybe one in particular that kind of stood out? Did you have kind of like a favorite?
I can't pick one, but it's just that feeling when everything starts to click and how fast we can play, and we still only had 9 turnovers, so like there are a lot of back-to-back-to-back plays where it's kind of pick your poison and everybody was kind of getting involved. So I can't pick one. It's just that emotion, that feeling, that momentum we were able to create. Got the crowd into it. You could tell it was affecting them on the other side. Every time out you look down, they're trying to figure something out. So that's playoff basketball in terms of you can get a team to have to worry about so many different things. Like it makes the game a little easier.
Steph, are you expecting to return to the starting lineup very soon, or does it matter at this point?
Like I said before, most of it is trying to figure out what appropriately or how we can appropriately increase my minutes, and then you figure out what that looks like. Right now, the goal is to make my minutes impactful as much as possible. So we will see, and I'm pretty sure we won't give any of that away before I get back to the starting lineup.
2 questions. First off, how's your foot feeling? I know on Thursday you said you still were dealing with some mild discomfort. Is that gone away, or is it still?
It's still there, but it doesn't matter. Like it's part of understanding what it's going to feel like now and throughout this whole playoff run, and how I can manage it and continue to try to make progress even though I'm back playing. So I'm not worried about it, but you want to keep trying to push in the right direction where every game I feel a little bit better. So not there yet, but getting close.
And then Steve Kerr and Draymond both made comparisons saying that Jordan Poole looks, kind of like you. They see some resemblance in your guys' games. And obviously there's only going to be one Steph Curry, but just what have you thought about, what do you think of those comparisons with Poole?
The maturation of his game in these 3 years has been unbelievable. And just his confidence in himself to be able to, take it up another notch at this stage, like it's extremely impressive. You can give the direction and the X's and O's and the approach and all that, but you got to go out there and do it. The player has to go out there and do it, and that's what JP's doing night after night. So that can't be taught. That's something that you either have or you don't, and I'm glad that he has it.
How does this team recreate the energy to play with tonight, Thursday in Denver?
Just understanding we haven't done anything yet. It's the old cliche saying, series doesn't start until somebody loses at home, but understanding like this is the attention to detail in our game plan, knowing that it's going to be a lot harder to get a win, on the road, but we obviously are capable if we take care of our business, continue to play defense at a high level, continue to take care of the ball, making them forcing them to defend a lot of different actions. And then how you deal with adversity. Like, that's going to happen at some point in the series. There's going to be a crazy run that they make. Their crowd's going to be into it. And we have to kind of impose our will, hopefully, pretty quick when we get up there. And, Draymond said in the locker room, like, Game 3 is huge because you can, snag that momentum and then try to get greedy after that. So it's going to be a hard-fought game on Thursday.
You and JP combined for 63 points tonight. What's it like being out there with a guard who has similar, in many ways, skill set with you and the things that you guys can both do that really kind of do things to defenses?
I mean, it's hard to game plan against because you have to give up something. And, like, in those moments, we still got Clay on the other side. You got Draymond out there being a playmaker, Otto, Wiggs. Andre when he's healthy. Belly was out there for a little bit. Like, there's just a lot of options, and for a team to make those decisions on the fly, it's difficult, especially when we're playing fast. So it helps that, not that like we don't take turns, but like he can put him in a pick and roll. Me and Clay can space in the corner. There can be secondary and third options if they want to trap him, or guys stay home to us, and he has all the room in the world to make plays. All it is just being decisive. Like I keep saying that. You just know what we're trying to get on every possession. Take care of the ball. Usually going to have an open shot, and we live with those every possession.
Draymond got up there, looked at the stat sheet, and just said, "Wow!" And he was commenting about your plus 32. Do you say "wow" when you see that? What does that number mean to you? Is it significant?
Make my minutes impactful. That was the goal.
Hey, Steph, on that note, I think it's safe to say there would be a lot of star players who wouldn't sit well with them with the idea of coming off the bench after being out for a while. How have you managed to look at this through a different lens?
It helps that I've been through it a couple of times and had to make that decision where, like, what's really important? Is it about starting and then just having that moment where you get your name called, and is that really that important? Or can you think about the big picture of, again, like when you're forced into a minute restriction, it kind of makes the decision a little easier. But it's like I want to be out there, like with a constant kind of flow throughout the game. Obviously, I want to be out there in a closing, lineup in the big moments of games, and maybe change that narrative a little bit in terms of cards you're dealt with an injury and missing that much time and coming right back. Like, it's about just winning the basketball game, and obviously the versatility to be able to try to do a lot of different ways. So I'm proud of the way that we've all handled that situation, and we'll continue to make hopefully the right decisions as we keep going.
Steph, at what point does Jordan Poole shoot the technical free throws?
Never. Never. Even I'll miss 10 in a row. You see me right there.
Stepped up to the line that first time.
I said I like that healthy competition because obviously I know he edged me out in the season-long race, and we set high standards for shooting free throws. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot more than one free throw champ to get me off that line for the Tex.
There was Steph Curry.